Okay, so hi, I'm Rafał. I'm VP of Product at Nozbe. Well, actually, I'm the only one person in Nozbe doing product, and I will talk about dogfooding, how we do it in Nozbe. So, what is dogfooding? It's not eating a lot of dog food. Actually, how many of you heard about this term, dogfooding? Okay, some of them. And how many of you do it in your product? Cool. So I hope that my presentation will give you some value for this. So what is dogfooding? In my opinion, it's dogfooding is being an active user of your own product, of the product you develop, you maintain, you manage, of the product you sell or you do marketing for. And it's not only about software development, because good dogfooding, for example, takes place also in politics. When, for example, city council or city officials use the city infrastructure like public transport and so on. Otherwise, if they don't do this, they are disconnected to the problems they hired to solve. So, in my opinion, if there is technical possibility to do the dogfooding, you should do it, because the benefits are enormous. Okay, as I said, I work in Nozbe. It's a small company, #no office company, as we like to call ourselves. That means we don't have an office. Everyone works from home, which is some kind of facilitator to the dogfooding, because we only communicate via internet, via our tool. Because Nozbe is a to-do app for individual users and teams. And we use Nozbe to run Nozbe the company and develop the product Nozbe. So we use it for everything we can, like HR, doing customer support and development and so on. We are 25 people right now. We are on the market for 13 years, profitable from day one, and no VC money. And no office plus dogfooding are the two main factors that allow us to maintain low costs and become and be profitable all the time. Okay, but actually after 13 years, we are at the stage when we will become a two products company. Long story short, the original Nozbe was designed for individual users, and by time it gained some team features. And as our team grew, we saw that the way we communicate through tasks in Nozbe, not using email or Slack, is the way to go. We feel very productive and effective with that communication style. So 3 years ago, we decided we want to build a new product dedicated to teams that will contain 10 years of our experience. But you know, when you start building a new product, the first 2 years was very hard, because there was no the app wasn't ready. We couldn't use it, so we really didn't know where we were. And what was the solution for this? Of course, dogfooding. Because when we pushed ourselves to really step outside of the comfort zone and use internally the new tool, which was at the time not ready to do this. There was lack of features, a lot of bugs. That it was a slow app, but we managed to push to, as I invented, minimal dog foodable product, which is still far away from MVP. And from that point, we started to see a progress, starting to see where we need to go, what to focus on. So the first months of dog fooding were very hard because of this lack of features. For example, we couldn't attach files to the task. We needed to upload it to Dropbox and then add a link if we wanted to do so. But it was necessary because it really speed up our development. So in January we started with few projects, importing them from Nozbe to Nozbe Teams, and every week we imported more. Of course, we needed to left some projects in the old Nozbe app because we want to still maintain and develop it because it's totally different product. It's not the update for the old app, the new app. And as I said, there were a lot of bugs, the app was slow, but the more we suffered there and the more we suffer now, currently, in dog fooding phase, the less suffer our customers in the future. And it created the clarity, what is important, what we should focus next, and thanks to the dog fooding, we were able to discover very serious technical problems that we wouldn't discover otherwise. And if we discover them after releasing open beta or to the public, it would be a huge problem. And now we are finishing to resolving this. Yeah. So we call that phase of beginning of dog fooding frustration-driven development, because using the app and working on daily basis in the app with your data was very frustrating. As you can see, for example, when Apple updates Safari to version 13, there was a bug that Safari thought that local database took more than 10 gigabytes, and it was only JSON. Yeah. So what was important for us in that kind of operation, that we need to fix a lot of things to really make the product usable for us, and you have to provide a space and a culture of feedback. So the rest of the team should feel very comfortable with saying what frustrates them, what annoyances they discover in product. And of course, we also provide a space for developers to discover some solutions, some new frameworks that may help with fixing annoying bugs, improving user experience. And this is TGIF. That's our thanks God it's Friday policy. So on Fridays, everyone in our company do a weekly review, and after that they can do whatever they want. And we encourage everybody to take the time for to self-develop, to learn new technologies, new frameworks, new APIs, watch some keynotes from conferences, and so on. And thanks to this, our developers were able to really improve user experience of the app. And in the last 2 months, when we are approaching open beta phase, we want to show to the world our app. We focused even more on improving user experience. So we introduced bug fixing Monday. So on Monday, every developer can fix whatever they want, and now the app is much better. Okay, how our production process currently works and how it connects with dog fooding. So currently we are at the phase of private beta. So we only invited some of our long-time users to test the new app with us. But next month we will do the open beta. So, and if any one of you want to access, just email me. So the production process works like this. We have, of course, the master branch, and everyone in a team uses the app from the master branch, and it is updated a couple of times per day. Plus, we use feature flags for the things that are not quite ready, to release them to production to our beta testers. So we release beta every week on Monday, and we have a policy to not to do merge to master on Fridays. So on Fridays it's like stabilization phase to really see during the weekly review if the app is if we didn't mess up anything in the app. So on Monday, if it goes to production, there are no major issues, and it works for us. Okay, how about testing and dogfooding? Well, just using the app covers the majority of test cases you can write for our product. And as I said, we have 25 people in the team using the app. They have different devices, different desktop, different mobile smartphones, but of course it's not impressive amount, but it's enough to really maintain a good quality on production. So most of the problems that beta testers are reporting to us, we already know, oh, okay, that will be later. Okay, design verification. So besides testing and quality assurance, we also use dogfooding to verification if we designed proper solution to problems, or we choose proper problems to solve. Yeah. First of all, on the left you can see the pop-up in the app that everybody gets a couple of times per day that they should update, because we want everybody to have the newest build possible for the most of the time. Because if we don't do this and we tell people, okay, please every day in the morning download the new build, they will with time they will forget to do this, and if it's automatic, then it works. And how we do the verification of design? We are trying to implement minimum functional version of the solution or feature we want to check, and we put a task in the app, and Kamil, our tester, ask for feedback. Simply question, does it work? The people react with reactions, and if someone doesn't react, the Kamil would push, will mention them after 1 week to really push them to test the new function. This way we are creating a room for feedback, because sometimes when we merge it to master, it resulted that something doesn't work, or someone has negative feedback about this, and they can add a comment to this, and then we can fix that. Okay. Of course, there are some risks. With dogfooding, we are not covering 100% of the test cases. We are covering the most. But for example, we need to make sure we test properly sign up and onboarding. But that's the very important part of the apps that you cannot cover with dogfooding. Of course, you can sometimes when you hire a new people, but we are a small team and we hire only only a couple of people per year. So that's a problem for us. Second risk is that we all are accustomed to the way the old product work. So sometimes when we see the new solution, when we use new solution for the same problem, nobody likes changes. Then our intuition tells us that that's the worst solution than the older. But if you give it the time and get used to it, after 1 or 2 weeks, we discovered that people started to see the bigger value with the new solution. So you always have to give it a time. So another risk is that we get used to the lack of features, some workarounds we managed to work in dogfooding, and because of that there is a risk that we stop seeing the problems, because we are getting used to the workarounds, and then that's the good moment when you hire a new people. They have a different view about it. Of course, the bonus to dogfooding is translations. We have amazing customer support team, and in Nozbe, the old app, we provide customer support in 10 languages. So we communicate with user in those 10 languages. And plus, everyone in a team in customer support and marketing know how to work with files on GitHub. That way, the people from support suggested that they can translate the interface of our new app, Nozbe Teams, to their language just by editing a single file on GitHub, with all the strings. This has a benefit that when you need to translate all the strings in the app to your language, you need to know every element of the app, and that helps for customer support people to write a better help page and to better understand customer problems. So that's it. Okay, to sum up some profits about dogfooding. First of all, we can really see what place we are with our product, and in which stage we can move to private beta, then to open beta, and then to product launch. As I said, we discovered a lot of performance bottlenecks. Thanks to dogfooding, we were able to improve, for example, time, the synchronization time. We need to improve it even more before we launch the product, but now we know how to do it. As I said, we verified our design decisions. Most of them, dogfooding proved that were correct. Some of them we need to redesign. Yeah. And our production process now is very, compared to the old product, is much faster and reliable. And we started to see the real progress. Okay, if you want to learn more about dogfooding and how we internally work in Nozbe, there is a podcast, the podcast.fm, which is hosted by our CEO, Michael Sliwinski, and our front-end developer, Radek Pietruszewski, and they talk about technology, lifestyle, but also about the way we work in Nozbe. And I also dogfooded the content of this presentation yesterday in my podcast with Krzysiek, boczemunie.pl. I just gave this talk in Polish as a part of the new episode. And I added some additional info about Nozbe Teams Open Beta. So if you want to learn more about it, just stay tuned. It will be available on Friday morning, episode number 97. Okay, and I hope I will receive some feedback about this presentation from you, and next month I will write a blog post about dogfooding on Nozbe blog. Okay, so if you have any feedback, so please give it to me. It was my first ever talk in English, first ever product talk. So I appreciate all the constructive feedback. You can give it to me after the presentation in the kitchen, or if you are shy, you can email it to me. I will put my ego into the pocket and just thank you for this. Okay, so what questions do you have?
Hello, I'm Inga. I'm a product owner and product manager, so everything you told there is for me a daily basis standards.
Yeah.
As I understood, it's a kind of beta test. I have some mobile application in my portfolio and we use it so. And the question is, because you didn't mention anything about the results. You only think about your experience and your decision based on users' feedback. But which tool or which way to getting feedback from users do you use in your product?
Well, actually, we use just email for this. Plus, our CEO talks with our business customers. Yeah, but in that moment, we don't have a lot of beta users.
Okay, maybe it could be interesting for somebody, maybe even for you. It's not my application, but I use it. It's Instabug, and it's very, very fine for users. It's very easy. You can only shake your phone and ask notes or issue. I use it, and it's very helpful.
But as I know,
probably it's not only one, but if you have lots of users, it's help you.
Yeah, and for example, in iOS 13 test flight, got some features like this integrated. So, yeah, but thanks, I will check that.
So real quick, maybe that would be for bigger companies, but still I would like to ask, what is the priority and what is the process around product development, I mean product features that you develop, and the results of dogfooding, right? So do you expect that people will be updating the things based on their experiences on this, like not that busy Fridays? Or are you planning as well to have this feedback included into product development? And then there is a question of priorities, new feature, or maybe a smaller improvement that is maybe not that, which maybe doesn't look that it's coming with a huge value, but it's like something that you are suffering from every day, right? So what is that? How do you manage this priority clash?
Well, actually, we are, as I said, we are about to release open beta, and now we are at the phase of trying to improve our process just to resolve the problems you mentioned. I recommend to all of you to read the book Shape Up from the Ryan Singler from Basecamp, because we try to work similar to that guys. We work in 6-week cycles, and so every 6 weeks we revised our priorities. But recently, when we are so close to open beta, we had to revise the priorities just on daily basis. So it was a hell.
Just the living, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, about the dogfooding.
Yeah.
I never heard about this concept, so very interesting for me. But what I'm wondering, like, you have a lot of people, right, using your application.
Yeah.
And they all can do some feedback, right?
Yeah.
How do you align all of them? If you, for example, have like one group of people who likes it this way and another group of people who likes it another way.
Yeah, that's very difficult because our product is very, very useful in many different industries. So we have this kind of problems, but from our experience, the feedback we receive from the customers and from beta testers, these are problems we already know they exist based on dogfooding. There are only some new problems to resolve that are reported by customers. Of course, that doesn't mean we shouldn't do user experience research or talk to customers and only do the dog fooding. I'm not saying that, but but I'm saying that dog fooding is a huge value. And
Actually, in a continuation of this question, how do you manage the decision-making process?
Well, as I said, we are no office company, and sometimes as we have this TGIF and bug fixing Monday, so for the small things the developer can decide, yeah. But we have this roadmap team, like this is me, CEO, and tester, that we just meet every week and revise is everything from the roadmap is have progress, and if necessary, we revise the priorities and communicate to the development team.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, nice presentation. This is something new to me. I'm from user experience background. I'm thinking like, how often do you do the real usability test? Because when you test your own app, there's this notion of you're not the user.
Yeah.
Because the things you may not catch by testing yourself, you will catch only if you observe the user interacting with your product. So I'm wondering like, how often do you test usability aspects of your app?
To be honest, never. We are such a small team. We don't have resources to do that. As I said, that dog fooding is enough for us for that moment. But in the future, we probably would have to do this.
Because I would give a suggestion to consider that, because that's crucial to improve sales, and there will be a lot of customers coming back to use the app.
Yeah. Thank you.